Well, hello everybody. I'm Jack. And this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Woohoo! It's Friday. Hope everybody's ready for the weekend. We're settling into a gray, rainy weekend here, so I'm just gonna kind of hunker down and get some work done. It's not going to be all that exciting, but I will try and make it productive. Today I want to talk about sticking to a raw food diet with tasty, hearty recipes and tell you a little bit about what my thoughts are on that. I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I've gotten some perspective. This has been mostly a good thing, as you can tell from me talking about it all the time. I'm definitely ready to get back to Costa Rica and be able to enjoy the abundance that I've enjoyed the majority of the time I've been on this lifestyle. But since I've been in the States since July of last year, I've learned some things. I've picked up some stuff. I've gotten different perspective and hopefully picked up a different perspective to kind of be able to relate and share some stuff to people that aren't living in the tropics. And how this lifestyle works and just some of my thoughts on it. Like I say, I'm never trying to say anything I say is the end all be all. It's all about just kind of kicking ideas around out there, brainstorming. I'm just not into these big declarations of always and never and this is the one true way and this is right and this is wrong, but just kind of the way I look at it and the way things work for me. And one thing that I've totally seen since I've been here and just in my experience is the whole cooked versus raw part of it. So much of that is just psychology. It's just in your head, this absolute fixation on cooked. And once again, I think it's kind of fear-based because people have this dread, with this, oh, I'm never going to eat cooked and I see a little bit more frustration with that with the ones that are just gung-ho, I am going to be 100% raw if it kills me, because they don't offer themselves any outs. And in their little constraint that they've made for themselves, even as far as saving face and not telling people, oh, I ate the dreaded, horrible, dangerous cooked food, they just stress themselves so much because they think about that. I'll never eat cooked food again. To me, the cooked versus raw thing hasn't been that big of a deal. Now, I was able to get better fruit back in the summer, July, August, September. So honestly, my assessment of this whole thing has been since I've been up here, it's not so much the cold, oh, I can't eat raw in the cold because of my body getting cold. That part to me is absolutely ridiculous. You put clothes on. I've just wore clothes. Hell, I haven't walked out of the house, even though we're warming up a little bit. I haven't walked out of the house in a short sleeve shirt in months. Not in months, because I wear stuff around the house, and not having hot food doesn't really make me cold. In fact, the time that's I'm transparent here. I tell people I eat cooked food from time to time. I ate some the other night, and if anything, it warms my body up to almost an uncomfortable level. Like I'm used to my body being a certain temperature, and when I eat that cooked food, it tends to maybe I have to take a shirt off, change shirts or whatever, but that hasn't been the thing to me, and I really don't think it is a matter of raw versus cooked that everybody gets themselves so worked up about. And, oh, I just need the cooked. I'm addicted to the cooked. I'm this, I'm that. To me, it's more about tasty and being satisfied. So that's why, ergo, the title, Tasty, Hearty Food. And also, too, I just want to point out, I've got a playlist here of recipes. These are all Jack-type recipes. In fact, I think, I've created all these recipes. They're very crude. They're very caveman-like, but they're easy. And if you're like me, I'm not a big kitchen person, especially when I'm doing it for myself. Now, if I've got other people around and you're sitting around talking, playing some music, it's enjoyable to get into the kitchen. But for me, I'm very utilitarian. And that's why, partially because I'm not getting a lot of good food right now here. But that's why I'm just eating so many bananas, just doing a lot of smoothies until I get back home because, I'm just not all that inspired to put a lot of effort in. But I'm kind of getting off the topic there. All these recipes in here, they're very hearty. They're sturdy. They're thick. They're going to leave you satisfied at the end. Just for instance, one, and if you've watched a number of my videos, this might ring a bell to you. I've got a couple of recipes in there with marinated mushrooms that I let marinate in the windowsill and some citrus and what have you. And then I add stuff to that. So I've got a dish, a couple of dishes for that. I did a stew about 6 months ago that is super hearty because you got these mushrooms marinated. Put a little bit of Bragg's in there, gets just that little salty taste. And then I put fresh corn in there. I put tomatoes in there. I put red pepper, chopped up red pepper in there. And then I put a nice savory sauce on that. So, you know, even if I'm eating that at the coldest part of the year, that is leaving me satisfied. I feel like, you know, now I had something. In the winter, yeah, the salads not so much for some reason. They don't tend to satiate me as much in this cooler weather. And that can be psychological too. But I really think it's the heartiness of it because, you know, think about it. The soup, I mean, the salads are just like, the salads are almost like eating air sometimes. You know, they do, I enjoy them, but you know, when it's cold like that and just kind of simulate the feeling of the cooked food that we used to have before, I like those hearty meals. Not everything is about, though, the cold versus hot. Some people just seem to think, you know, that, okay, well, I have to have the cooked, No, even in the tropics. I'll tell you, now it was super easy down there because it's warm all the time, but I had my hearty recipes down there, and I think it's in my playlist. If not, this one's a super easy one. One of my favorite recipes used to be mango red pepper. Mango red pepper, a little bit of tahini, mango coconut curry, just things like that. But the mango, you know, put a little bit of tahini to cream it up in there, put a little bit of coconut in there. And, you know, for these hearty dishes, you know, you maybe lighten up a little bit of time when it comes to the fat. Because a lot of you that watch me, I know from talking about it, you're not fully raw. A lot of people are transitioning. Don't go crazy on the fat. Like I say, I always kind of try to walk the middle way like the Buddha. You know, we don't have to be this uber no fat, and we don't eat like everything with nuts and seeds and heavy dressings and what have you. But little healthy fat's not going to hurt you from time to time. Although you can do hearty, you can do very hearty without fat. Going back to that stew. And now I think a couple of times, depending on if I wanted fat or not, I put a little avocado on top of that stew. But that stew stands on its own. It's hearty and it has you can eat it zero fat, zero added overt fat anyway. And it will definitely fill you up. So I've said this, and I don't know how many videos in the past, that it's all about, you know, so many people I see, and I know I can tell on Instagram, I can tell when I'm seeing it. So many people are just kind of the recipe birds. They like a little chirping bird. Recipe, please. They just ask for a recipe to everything they see out there. They collect recipes. I think they've just got files and files of recipes. See, that's not my approach. That's not what I'm talking about. When you come to this lifestyle, I would say find yourself anywhere, depending on your personality and how you like to eat. Find yourself anything from 5 really solid recipes to 10. And when I say find these, you might say, well, that's not a whole lot. I'm talking about find something not that's okay, that'll get you by. I'm talking about those recipes you really, really, really like. I've got a number of them, and Melissa's Raw Food Romance, a couple of hers are part of that list for me. She's got a pad thai in there that I could eat 3 times a week easily and never get tired of it. So if you have, and I'm also too, I can be kind of repetitive in my eating. I'm not one of those people. I don't have to have variety. I don't have to have something different. You know, if you're going to eat 5 dinners, 5 nights of the week, 5 dinners, I don't have to have 5 separate things. Sometimes I get on a kick. I'll eat something on Monday night and it hits me. I like it so much, I'll eat something like 3 or 4 nights in a row. So ergo, yeah, if you have, okay, let's go to the upper limit. If you have 10 really good recipes, 10 really good recipes you enjoy, it's so easy to stick to this lifestyle. I've got some recipes, and when I say enjoy, let's go to the next level. I've got raw recipes that seriously, it is just not about raw versus cooked anymore. Even if it wasn't a matter of, take away the whole thinking that raw is healthier, raw versus cooked in a healthy versus non-healthy way. I've got raw recipes that I would choose over cooked. I've got raw recipes that I would choose over cooked food that I really like, just because those recipes are so good. Like I say, that mango, God, now I'm starting to think about that. That mango, coconut, ginger curry that I used to do in Costa Rica and put on zoodles, or sometimes I would just use it as a salad dressing. That was next level right there. I mean, that was just so good that when you were done, you just had that you had that afterglow. You had kind of a food buzz. So, yeah, find yourself some stuff that you really like to eat. Now, I'm not talking about, like I say, collecting recipes and having a file of 100 recipes. Find those 5 to 10 recipes that you really like, that you could eat 2 or 3 days in a row, and that'll make this lifestyle a whole lot easier right there. I mean, anybody should be able to pretty much do fully raw 3 or 4 days a week after you've done this for a little while and after you've done a proper transition. And like I say, never preaching. I'm not telling you need to be fully raw or you've got to go fully raw. But for people that are interested, and that a lot of people that watch me and a lot of people I'm interacting with on Facebook and in the groups and what have you, they are. So just some more little tips and tricks for you there. Anyhow, hope this you found this video helpful. If you did find it helpful, I'd appreciate if you give me a thumbs up. Maybe share it around to other people that are trying to do this lifestyle. And I will see you again tomorrow for our little weekend talk. Peace.